This is a video that I never thought I would make. I am a lifelong Democrat who has worked in 2 White Houses for 2 Democratic presidents. I'm the kind of Democrat who wishes that she lived in New York City.
It's not complicated. If a reasonable person would think that this thing that they are asking me to do is illegal, you have an obligation. It's not an option. You have an obligation not to follow those orders.
So are the boat strikes illegal?
Well, so I've been asking this question for a long time. I'm on the Armed Services and the Intelligence Committee.
Right.
They have some complicated legal rationale, 40 pages of why these are legal. It's questionable at best. And by the way, and it was about oil.
I understand.
So,
but what do you see my point? You yourself
I totally
are saying,
see your
like,
point.
I don't.
But
I don't know.
Our point is to members of the military who don't get reminded of this often. When something is clearly unlawful, you have an obligation not to follow those orders.
Under the Obama administration, they did extrajudicial killings of an American citizen through strikes. Like, we criticize that. That's my point. Is there's enough gray area
for the people talking about Venezuela, and you have never been in Venezuela, you have no idea what's going on, you never research, you don't have friends that are from Venezuela, keep your opinions to yourself. We have been waiting for 27 years to get free from this government. We don't care what are the alternate motives or what is the whole behind it. We don't care. And most of the Venezuelan people that you know, that they are not living in Venezuela, they didn't left because they wanted to look for better opportunities. Most of us left because we have no freedom.
Yes, I believe you've seen what Jon Stewart actually did to this guy. This guy is facing a lot of backlash after doing this. He came out months ago saying the military should not obey Trump's order. It was news everywhere. Now, this question came up to him, like, why is it that Obama did this, Joe did this, he was unable to actually respond? At some point, you will see the hypocrisy with Democrats. This guy is a disgrace.
We just want to change. And there is millions of people dying every day in Venezuela. Because of this government. Because they don't have any resources to go buy any food, so they just starve. There is people that now they cannot even afford to have health insurance. So if you get a terminal illness, you're going to die away. So people is like, or either I die this way or either I have freedom. What do I want? So if you don't know anything about it, yes, Venezuelan people is really happy about the situation. And you might say, hey, whatever, you don't even live in Venezuela anymore, so you can talk about it. And but my family, my mom and my 101-year-old grandma live there, and they are there at this moment, and they're happy about what's happening. They're happy, and the real Venezuelan people that is not with the government is happy about it. Not investigated before, then just keep your comments.
Jon Stewart calling out McKinley hypocrisy in telling the military to disobey orders from Trump, but not Obama, is something I don't see to be right. Let's consider that this was a Democrat. You will not see McKinley coming out to do this. At some point when this guy went viral, weeks ago, Trump said these people need to face persecutions. Democrats took that in another level. They ran, the mainstream media ran. Look at what he's saying here. Still struggling to encourage. Trump is the only person now that can speak, and the military listen. Why tell them that they should not listen to him? That is seduction, right?
Okay, U.S. military ousting Maduro. Pre-ousting, what you saw was the clear plurality of Americans opposed at 47%, just 21% support. Come over to this side of the screen. After the ousting, look at that. The support through the roof. Now we're talking about 37%, well within the margin of error right here of the opposition, 38%. It turns out Americans like what they deem to be successful foreign policy operations. And in this case, they view the ousting of Maduro, at least up to this point, as a successful one, and therefore the support way up.
Yeah, before underwater, now basically even. What about the idea of putting Maduro on trial here in the United States?
Yeah, you know, part of the reason why I think that the success number is way up, and you saw it here, what was it? It was 26 points in favor of opposition, now within the margin of error, is because they simply don't like Nicolas Maduro. And in fact, they believe that he should be on trial. Trafficking. Look at this. 50% of Americans favor compared to just 14% who oppose. So there are very few Americans here who oppose it. Even among Democrats, the opposition number is below, get this, just 24%. It is below 25%. So this is something that unites Republicans. It divides Democrats. And at this particular point, support for the operation way up. And in terms of those who favor trafficking trial for Maduro, that is a clear plurality.
Yeah, it doesn't really even divide Democrats on the idea of a trial. They all seem to support it by and large. Only 24% oppose it for Democrats. Let's talk about sort of what the lesson.
Democrats, I hope you know you lost the Hispanic vote for generations. Testing the capture of Maduro and asking for his release has offended every single Hispanic voter that there is in the country. Every Hispanic voter knows somebody or has family members from Venezuela or South America. Everybody knows how horrible the dictatorship of Maduro and Chavez has been for Latin Americans. You just keep proving to everyone over and over again that you don't know what you're doing, that you don't care about anyone. You only care about your optics and what it means to be opposed to the Republican Party.
What's your reaction when you see people?
She's not the only one. A lot of people are saying the same thing. Democrats didn't realize that they actually cause problem to their party when they do this every single time. It's not everything Trump does that you have to try to oppose, despite knowing the truth. When you take a look at this, Venezuelan journalists erupt on leftists for supporting Maduro just to oppose Donald Trump. It is obvious there is not one Venezuelan in those protests. It is disgusting, both as an American and as a Venezuelan. These people are disrespecting our strategy, are disrespecting our political prisoners, those we have lost, those who are still in Venezuela, those who are still starving. It is absolutely shameful, and it is a matter, in my opinion, of a threat to national security. You know, when you take a look at people like this speaking out about this whole regime, you should understand liberals will do everything to oppose anything Trump does, even if it's good. Look at this post on CNN. You can clearly see that majority of Americans support what he did. That's the simple truth. Now, the Democrat Party is divided on this issue. There are some that actually are happy with what Trump did. There are some still opposing. So you can see Republicans are uniting about the whole thing. So you will see the divide in there.
What's your reaction when you see people out there protesting to free Maduro?
It's disgusting, both as an American and as a Venezuelan. It's so obvious there's not one Venezuelan in those. These people are disrespecting our tragedy, are disrespecting our political prisoners, those we have lost. It's absolutely shameful, and it's a matter, in my opinion, of a threat to national security that our nation's youth and so many are willing to do this against victims of a criminal dictatorship.
It's indeed shameful to actually see liberals doing this. You will not see Venezuelans coming on the street to do this because they understand what has just happened to them is very important. I don't always like to make this video long. I will end here, but out of the clips I'm going to show at the end, that is for the YT algorithm. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out the videos every single time. God bless you abundantly.
Democrats have been so hypocritical today, and I'm finna point it out.
No one is going to miss a tyrant like Maduro.
Let your hatred and disdain for Donald Trump, an unsavory character, have you defending the dictator.
To our Democratic and liberal friends, to hopefully well-intentioned but poorly informed people, sit this one out.
I think that it's interesting. It was almost a near-death experience.
What are your thoughts on this?
Well, these guys are paid. They're so organized. I mean, it's less than even 24 hours. They got hundreds of signs made. It's almost like they have a print shop in the back of their People's Forum over here down in the city.
What brings you out here today? I'm organized with the Revolutionary Communists of America. We're out here to say hands off Venezuela, and we.
We should keep sentiment sometimes away and face reality on certain issues. This is something I never even thought of that will happen. When this lady won that election, this guy played the mafia and took the election away. I knew nothing can be done about that.
And Donald Jennifer Trump.
I'm a little in shock about that.
My wife. Wait to get back on the air tomorrow night to talk about them. Thank you, everyone.
This is about 100.
There you go.
$1,500.
Let's see if they get the.
Well,
I want to see them get it.
MAGA's going to break up because of Donald Trump's criticism of Robin.
Can sit at either place. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
You and your husband were friends with Rob and Michelle Reiner, and
everybody knew that wasn't true. A dangerous relative as a likely suspect. A tip that led to her brother Nick. Rob Reiner and Nick had a heated argument the night before at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party, being back on his own. In one incident, she said,
"We should have said nothing."
The United States to take this family tragedy in which the president had made no comment.
When people ought to have.
Absolute horror.
I am so sad and disappointed